1957, back with Train Sim World 2 and Creators Club. Now, lots of you guys know that I live pretty close to the West Coast Main Line, particularly in Preston, so I see a lot of the Avanti West Coast Pendolinos trundling backwards and forwards since they've taken over from Virgin. So I looked on Creators Club for an Avanti West Coast livery that I could use, because we have got on Spirit of Steam a section of the West Coast Main Line running from Crewe down to, I think, Hertford Junction. Was it Weaver Junction? I can't remember. I get my junctions mixed up. Anyway, it's at that point where it branches off to Preston, actually. So I thought, right, let's try and have a look, see if we've got anything Avanti West Coast. And indeed, there are quite a lot on there. This one is by our community member CAA, if you want to look this one up. It's actually, the eagle-eyed people watching this will know that it's actually the Class 395 Javelin. And it's actually a mock-up of the Avanti West Coast Class 805s. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. Let me jump in first and get everything set up, because we will be royally late. But actually, that doesn't really matter, come to think of it. Let's put it in diesel mode, because we'll just run the section between, hang on, let me get this organised. Do I need to put it in forwards? I can't really remember now, it's been that long. Yeah, there we go. Get the DC light. For some reason I thought we need to be in neutral, but I think that is when we switch on southeastern high speed between the diesel and the electric, so I think we're good. Let's get the doors open. Yeah, we're going to run the section of West Coast Main Line with this one, and we'll have a little bit of a talk about it. Let's do the lights. Where are the lights? Here they are. So let's put them on day running. I don't need to turn up desk illumination. So this is Spirit of Steam for the 1950s. We're at Crewe, and there are no safety systems, of course, so we don't need to turn all that on. If you download this, of course, if you put it into the diesel mode, over here on this side, into DC, the speedo will be in miles per hour. If you go for the completely fictitious overhead wires, AC power, then the speedo will of course default to kilometers per hour, so just bear that in mind, because that's how it is down on southeastern high speed, so it just follows that same theme. Let's get the doors locked. This one actually is the City of Coventry. Now, I don't know if that is real or not. I haven't looked that up, or whether that's just fictitious, but looks good with the name on the side. Alright, let's get underway. We'll pull out a Crewe. And the Javelin's a nice train anyway. It's the nearest thing that we've got to the 805. I do still keep hoping we get a Pendolino and a bit more of the West Coast Main Line. Fingers crossed. You know what as well? I need to take off the motion blur, which for the steam trains it does that, but it doesn't manage it for anything in Creators Club. So let me just find it. Oh, the motion blur is off. Okay, that's weird. So it is. It's because I was playing around with this earlier and turned it off, but it looked quite blurry to me. Anyway, let's continue on. We'll get to pick up some speed very shortly. It's only a short run down to the junction where the West Coast Main Line finishes. This little scenario that I've set up in the scenario designer does actually run all the way to Lime Street, and it's nice that the information systems on the train actually do say Lime Street. There's some on the side as well that you can see, which is quite nice. Let's get some speed up. Put it in notch 4. So, I think it was last year, wasn't it? Was it last year? Year before, Train Simulator. One of the routes that came out with Train Simulator was the West Coast Main Line, which was starting from the Euston end, I think going up to Birmingham. So I would like the north section, or a section a bit more north than that. This is the closest we've got to it so far, this little stretch in the 1950s. So, as I said just earlier, I'm kind of hopeful in the future they recreate it. I mean, to be honest, I would be quite happy if that section from Train Simulator comes out, is recreated for a start, because I think that would look really nice in Train Sim World 2. But here it is. Don't want to spend too much time in the cab because this is all about the livery. But yeah, it does look good. So we're running nicely up to speed. Now I don't know a lot about the 805, so I thought I'd have a quick look on Wikipedia, and it says on there that the British Rail Class 805 AT300 is a type of bi-mode multiple unit which will be built by Hitachi for Avanti West Coast. Based on the Hitachi A train design, 13 5-core units are to be built to replace 221s on services between Euston and stations on the North Wales coast and Shrewsbury lines. Their introduction will allow the elimination of long-distance diesel working on electrified routes. So I think, I don't know, let's have a look, a bi-mode multiple unit. So bi-mode, does that mean it's diesel or it's electro-diesel? It can be powered by overhead lines or third rail, or by using an onboard diesel engine driving an electric generator. Right, so that's quite nice. So this is very similar then, because this can run on both. So if it's going up to the North Wales coast, I'm not likely to see any of these. If I go to Preston Station, I won't see any of these. I just wanted this for the livery, to be honest. I've seen so many of these, this livery now, going up and down on the Pendolino. And I wasn't so sure on it at first, the sort of green, you know, the green and orange sort of sections. I've been used to the Virgin trains for so long, which were actually, they were quite bright, weren't they, compared to this one. But it's grown on me, and it was one of the first liveries I went looking for in the Creators Club. There's, as I said, there's quite a few. This one's by, as I mentioned, it's by CAA. But go and have a look. There might be another one that interests you. I even saw Avanti liveried Class 47s, which was something I didn't expect. But go and take a look. I think there's a couple of scenarios on there as well that people have created. But we've talked about this before, it's great, you can just go on to Creators Club and fill your boots, as it were, if you want to try something different. So this one's a bit different. I have run this once, all the way down to Lime Street. It's quite a nice service. There's no other traffic on the line, it's just the one service. But it's quite a pleasant run. And it is nice actually to run the 395 somewhere else, apart from South Eastern High Speed. so I've been quite enjoying this one. We've still got all the 1950s passengers. They're getting a treat because I've run the Class 150 down here, as you might have seen in an earlier video. They probably wondered what the heck was going on with that one, and now they've turned up today, and this 395 dressed as a 805 has appeared. So there's actually more passengers on this one than there was on the 150. Word must have spread. So yeah, check this one out. It's very good. I'll zoom out again and the real speed comes back. So it's 30 odd miles all the way down to Liverpool, of course, but I think this stretch of the West Coast Main Line, I think, takes us about half of that. We don't quite reach Runcorn. The thumbnail that I'm going to use is a picture from my earlier run, which is coming over the bridges at Runcorn, because I quite like that shot. But you won't see that in this run, because that's not part of the West Coast Main Line that we're doing here. But I wanted to include that because it's such a nice shot, and you get a good shot of the train in a curve as well. Let's do a flyby. Then you can see the whole livery. So yeah, City of Coventry. Let me know if that's a real one or not. I don't know if that's a real name for one of these. Once again, a lot of care has been taken on this one. Let's try a few of the other cameras. There's the drive-by camera. That one's a good shot. Let's put a little bit more power in. So we have got a 15 miles per hour going up in 2.4 miles. So we can keep the speed up for now. The braking is quite good on this actually. This cab is so quiet, isn't it? And of course you can't open the windows on this cab. I remember it being adjusted. I think when it was the 395 was first released, the sound of the air conditioning was very loud. And that was toned down a little bit. But now I think it's spot on. So we're still on the West Coast Main Line, just for now. Doing a nice 86 miles per hour. So we've got less than a mile to the 15, so I'll just take the power off. That's Harford's signal box there. Put the brakes on. So you see that speed's coming off quite nicely. I might have left it slightly late, but we'll be nearly there. gonna be close. Just. So it's taking us off to the side now. So this is putting us on the line to Liverpool, I believe. This is Hertford Junction signal box. Just actually speeding slightly. So I think this is where it's just before the West Coast Main Line is gonna split off to the right. Okay, let's put some more speed in slightly now we're over the junction. In fact, if we check the map now. Yes, you see this here is the West Coast Main Line, and we will, if we're going to Liverpool, we'll go off down to Runcorn and down the hill. So that's where we're headed just now. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. I wanted to just bring this to you and show you this because I have been enjoying it. I just picked it up a couple of days ago, and I'm always wanting to try not just different trains on different routes with Creators Club, but I also do want to try some new liveries as well. And you know, I didn't know about this about Avanti getting these trains, so it's been good for me because I've learned something as well. You know, Wikipedia has always got the details when you need it. But yeah, 805s, I didn't know about the 805s. I'm not as much as a train buff as I know some of you guys are. So I quite enjoy learning about some of this stuff. It's helpful as well when the community, I know there's not a lot of space, but the community puts some good notes in the Creators Club with the livery or the scenario itself, explaining, you know, a little bit about the history of it. That's always nice to see. And this one did have a few notes with it, so that gave me the sort of basis for knowing what this one was all about, which was good. So we've got a 90 coming up, but we will be, let's just check the map. Yeah, we've not got that far to go now before the main line tails off towards Preston. Acton Bridge. So it's a good run. You can see we've still got 18 miles if we're going all the way to Lime Street, so it's a decent run. So I would encourage you to try this. You'll need to create your own scenario, of course, in the planner. But it's well worth it. Sometimes when you're just running the standard services and scenarios that come with a route, sometimes it's nice to just run something else, and if you've already created these scenarios, you've downloaded some, they will just sit there in the scenario planner and you can just go in and choose them if you fancy something different to drive. So we haven't got far at all now. I will say one thing, first class doesn't actually look a lot different from second class these days, does it? Oh, we're really speeding now. There we go, we're good. So at this point, we go off to the left towards Liverpool, and the West Coast Main Line carries on up there on the right, where you can see. Under that bridge there is where we will be going. Birdswood signal box. So that's the end of the West Coast Main Line section. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was just something different to have a look at. And yeah, do go on to Creators Club. Have a look. This one's by CAA, but there are other Avanti West Coast liveries available on there. So take a look, see which one you fancy. It is a nice run, so I'd definitely give it a try. And I hope you're enjoying these Creators Club videos. I will keep bringing them, we'll keep doing them on live streams as well. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, then I know that everything's working as it should. Thanks for subscribing, and take care. I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.